Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. The situation in West Asia remains tense a day after US and Israeli strikes killed Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. Renewed waves of Iranian missile and drone attacks on Sunday have rocked the Gulf countries as airspace remains closed in the region. Let's get you the latest news now coming in Delhi, and breaking news there. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who returned to Delhi today evening, on Sunday evening, is chairing a meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security at his residence, a key security meeting. Home Minister Amit Shah, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman are all in attendance. Let's go across to NDTV's Akhilesh now for more on this. And Akhilesh, the CCS is the highest decision-making body on security and strategic matters, and given what is taking place in West Asia, how there over 80 lakh Indians are there in the region and how it impacts us, give us more details. What do we know about the meeting so far?
Well, Gargi, apart from 80 lakhs Indians who are living there and working in the West Asia, there are large number of tourists. They are also there, and large number of students are also there. And there is a demand from various states to the center that they should be evacuated as soon as possible because the situation is very bad there. And India, they are actually concerned about their safety and security. So all the options are being explored in this meeting. And India in the past also has evacuated its citizens from various parts of the world whenever such situation has arisen. So now this time also this option is being explored. And apart from that, the kind of blockage we have seen and also kind of crisis in the prices of food that is imminent. India is also exploring other options to get the crude oil to meet the energy security in the country. And also the kind of disruption we have seen in the air services, that kind of also be reviewed by this Cabinet Committee on Security. So all these being examined by the CCS, and all other options are being explored that how to extend relief to the people who are stranded there in the West Asia.
All right, Akhilesh, thanks so much for joining us with those details. So that meeting taking place at the Prime Minister's residence. All right, more breaking news now coming in a day after launching strikes on Iran that killed Khamenei and embroiled the region in war. US President Donald Trump has now said in an interview to The Atlantic that the country's new leadership wants to talk with him and that he plans to do so, but he didn't offer any specifics. Asked whether his conversation with the Iranians would happen soon, whether today or tomorrow, he responded, "I can't tell you that." He did note that some of the Iranians involved in negotiations in recent weeks were no longer alive, and this is these talks, if they do take place, have been conducted. It is through the mediation of Oman. Well, let's go across to Aditya for more on this story, and he joins us from Tel Aviv. And Aditya, this is, the latest we've heard from the US president saying that there will be talks, though he offered no specifics. He claimed that the Iranians want to talk.
Well, that's right. That's the latest we're picking up. It's been 2 days of intense fighting and, deadly clashes that have taken place, Gargi. And now Donald Trump taking to social media, Truth Social, and saying that he's ready to talk. Earlier yesterday, Donald Trump had said in his initial statement that negotiations would be much easier now that the supreme leader has been neutralized in Tehran. But will it be easier to negotiate with the new governing council that has been set up by the Iranian regime? We'll have to wait and watch. It won't be easy for either side to now negotiate because the clashes continue. There is violence taking shape, not just in Israel and Iran, but all across the region. Several countries engulfed in this kind of a chaos.
Aditya, sorry to interrupt you there. We're now joined by Ayatollah Hakim Elahi, representative of Ayatollah Khamenei in India, a senior diplomat as well. Thank you for speaking to us. And from the US president, we have heard that the Iranian authorities want to talk. What is your response? Can you confirm this?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much for providing me this opportunity to talk to our audience and our sisters and brothers. And also I thank for your esteemed TV. Actually, from the beginning, Iran always announced that we are ready for negotiation, we are ready for discussion, and we want to have agreement with all national international organizations and all countries. But unfortunately, as you know, and it's very clear, during the negotiation with United States of America, and they broke everything and they attacked Iran. It's not the first time that they will do that. They do that. Even some last year also, they did the same. While we were negotiating with them, we're discussing to reach to the conclusion, to agreement, but at the same time, they attacked us. Now, even when they were negotiating, in the end of that day, they said that we reached to very, very good agreement with Iranians, and even Omani foreign minister said that we had a lot of progressive in negotiating,
Right.
but unfortunately, they attacked Iran and they killed a lot of civilians. This means that I think the issue is not in the hand of United States, but they will do what they are dictated by other country and other people.
Right, but the indication is that this is something that is being coordinated or mediated through Oman, and Donald Trump has said that the Iranian authorities have agreed to talk now. This is an interview he gave as of Sunday. If you could confirm this.
I don't know how we can negotiate again, because we cannot trust on them. 2 times within negotiating, they attacked us. This is the third time also we negotiate, and they want to attack against us again. This is not a reasonable thing. But at the same time, we clearly say that we are ready for negotiating, and we say that the war is not a way for peace and justice. And the attacks and war brings more suffering for the people. Never, ever, we don't want to have conflict with any our neighbors' country or any other country.
So are you saying you're ready to renew talks?
Problems.
Are you saying, are you in touch with the interim committee that is in place?
All the time we announce.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, of course. All the time we said that we are ready for negotiating. But negotiating should be with the dignity, not to dictate something to other people. From the beginning, we said that although we cannot trust on you, because at the first time last year, while we were negotiating, you attacked us, and this time also is the same, but the third time also the same. But clearly, and we announce that we are ready for negotiation.
All right, you're saying you're ready for negotiations, and this is something mediated by Oman. There's also a lot of anger in the Gulf countries over the attacks, over this, waves of Iranian missiles and drones that you have sent to, countries there. Your response to that?
Actually, never we want to attack any of our neighbors' countries, especially in Persian Gulf. Never. During the history of Iran, never see that Iran attacked any country. But these bases are not for that countries. These bases are provided for United States Army, and from that basis they attacked us, so we don't have any other option. What we can do? We have to defend ourselves. We cannot keep quiet and sit and just only watch and aircraft comes and bombing our civilians, our children. As you know, just only in one primary girls' schools, 135 innocent girls were killed. 135 innocent girls were killed.
That's right. And that has been a very, very, tragic thing that took place with over 100 girls being killed in those strikes. But also the IDF has claimed, and we've heard from the US president as well, that over 40 leaders were killed in the strikes that took place on Saturday in Iran.
Of course, our supreme leader also was killed.
Yes.
In his office. He was in his office with his granddaughter and also with his daughter-in-law, and I think also with his wife. They were killed by attacking to his office. And this is not just how you can imagine. The aircraft comes and attacks supreme leader, spiritual leader of Muslims and Shia in whole the world. He wasn't just only marja and of Iranians, but there are a lot of Muslims in all the world who are following him in jurist and in fiqh.
Right. In fact, according to the New York Times, there was a meeting that was underway on Saturday morning, which is why, and this was something that the US intelligence learned and passed it on to the Israelis, and that is why this attack took place on Saturday morning, even as Khamenei was involved in a meeting of top leaders.
No, it's not true. Because he was in his office, is doing daily work. And because usually at that time there is no meeting, especially during the month of Ramadan, the work and meeting starts later than that time.
All right, so you're denying that there was such a meeting, because this has been reported quite extensively about how there was a particular meeting, and that is the reason that the timing of the bombing by the US in Israel, that's why it was the Saturday morning time was chosen, because the intelligence had learned that this meeting would be held in that particular complex.
It's not true. Do you know? Because he was killed with his wife, with his daughter-in-law, and with his granddaughter. This means that they were living in their house, and he was in his office. With him, none of officials was killed. Just only he was killed.
All right, so you're denying that there was any sort of meeting taking place of, top Iranian officials at that time, because this is something, again, which has been widely spoken of. Coming back to talks between the US and Iran, who is in charge right now, if you can tell us?
Actually, now at the moment, there is committee. They will follow up the Iranian issues. But up to now, they didn't appoint any special person to be representative of Supreme Leader.
So it is the interim committee. If there are to be any negotiations, any talks with the US, moderated by Oman, it will be through this interim committee?
Actually, the negotiating through Oman is actually this is depends on Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This committee is not his deputy to negotiate with U.S. America, United States of America.
And, it's been 2 days of these strikes taking place. If tomorrow, what can we expect? Are these negotiations going to take place sooner rather than later? Can we expect some sort of, ceasefire announcement, possibly?
Actually, we are looking for ceasefire. But at this circumstance, how they are looking at ceasefire while they are bombing our civilians, our children, our innocent people. From the beginning, we were looking for peace. We were looking for just. Never we want to have war and conflict with any other country. But they started. We didn't start. They started. Although they were announcing that never we want to attack, they started.
All right, news also coming in of, more targeting taking place in Iran. The IRIB headquarters in Tehran also being targeted. Your response to this news coming in?
Yes, we try to have ceasefire. We don't want to continue the war because war never brings peace and justice in the society. Our people under attack and bombing of United States and Zionist regime, but they don't want. They started this war and they started killing innocent people. More than 200 innocent people and civilians have been killed in our cities, and 135 girl students in elementary schools, they were killed.
All right, thank you so much, Ayatollah Hakim Elahi, for speaking to us here at NDTV. Some more breaking news now coming in, and US President Donald Trump has posted on Truth Social that he has been informed that we have destroyed, he writes, and sunk 9 Iranian naval ships, some of them relatively large and important. He says we are going to go after the rest. They will soon be floating at the bottom of the sea. Also, in a different attack, we largely destroyed their naval headquarters. Other than that, their navy is doing very well. President Trump there has posted this on Truth Social, claiming these further strikes have taken place, claiming that the US has sunk some 9 Iranian naval ships. So this is the latest coming in, and this even as Donald Trump in an interview to The Atlantic said that he is open to negotiations, that Iran wants to talk, and he said that the talks will be taking place soon. But even so, information coming in of further attacks taking place by the US, and claims that 9 Iranian naval ships have been destroyed, that they have sunk, is what he has said. This even as there has been a cost to America, with 3 American soldiers also having been killed in the violence so far in after the attacks and the missiles and drones that have been sent out from Iran. So the US president saying that I have just been informed that we have destroyed and sunk 9 Iranian naval ships. He also says that we largely destroyed their naval headquarters as well. This comes a day after Israel and the US launched attacks in Iran, killing the Ayatollah Khamenei and as well as 40 other leaders is what is being claimed. And there was also bombing in other parts of Iran, with over 100 schoolgirls also being killed. Well, let's go across to Disha now for more on this latest claim by the US president. Yes, Disha, take us through the details that Donald Trump has provided, saying that 9 ships, Iranian naval ships, have been sunk.
Absolutely, Gargi. So this is the latest that we are hearing from US President Trump. A big claim being made by the US President, saying that the US has successfully been able to strike 9 Iranian naval ships, and the fact that they have been destroyed and now are at the bottom of the ocean. This is what he's claiming. We are yet to have any confirmation regarding what are these 9 naval ships that have been sunk. So far, we have confirmation that there was 1 naval ship that was definitely hit, which we'd broken earlier on NDTV with visuals showing how there was smoke coming out of that warship, after which we also saw that there was a strike, alleged strike on the USS Abraham Lincoln. We had the IRGC confirming that, however US then denied it. So we're yet to get some clarity on whether a US warship was in fact hit. But now US President Trump making a big claim that 9 Iranian naval ships have been hit, but making also several other statements to US media throughout the day. A big one is especially saying that he has agreed to talk to the new Iranian leadership. And in fact, we are also hearing now that through the Oman, who was mediating the indirect talks between US and Iran last week, the Iranian foreign minister, the Iranian new leadership has sent a message to the US through Oman saying that now Iran is also open to head towards the path of dialogue and diplomacy. So these are very important developments coming in. The first, in a sense of de-escalation in these rapidly evolving situations and tensions that we have been seeing in the Middle East over the past almost 2 days. Now both Iran and the US indicating, signaling that some talks or some de-escalation could take place. Whether this actually goes through remains to be seen, but these are big developments, big claims being made by the US saying that 9 naval ships have been destroyed. 9 Iranian naval ships have been destroyed, to be specific. And now US President Trump making it clear that he is open to talks with with Iran, and Iran also indicating that they are open to diplomacy and dialogue.
That's right, Disha. So this is the latest news coming in of what the US president is claiming, saying that they've sunk 9 Iranian ships. And Disha, this is even as, as you said, there's that Donald Trump in an interview to The Atlantic even claimed that there are a possibility of talks, saying this is being done by Oman. And however, he gave no timeline, no specifics regarding the possible talks and negotiations with Iran.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, both sides are making some indications, some signals. They're sending signals to the other side saying, we are open to, the attacks are continuing. Right now also we're seeing Israeli strikes in Tehran. We are seeing reports that certain Iranian state media agencies are also being hit. The IRIB, which is one of the Iranian state media houses, has been hit. But at the same time, the US is saying, look, we're open to talks. Iran is also saying we're open to having dialogue and diplomacy, but there is no set timeline because it's such a developing and evolving situation. So no one can really set any timelines. It is only time will tell how the situation evolves and when these officials can in fact come to the table, because while they are open to talks, these are just signaling. There is no concrete date being set or venue being set for these talks. Last time we saw that these were held in Geneva with Oman mediating it. Will that be the case again? These are all details that we are yet to hear from.
All right, Disha, thanks so much for joining us with those details, and we will return to you for more. Do stay on. So this is the latest news now coming in. Donald Trump saying the US has destroyed and sunk 9 Iranian naval ships. This as the US and Israel trade strikes against Iran. Remember, there have been a barrage of missiles and drones deployed by Iran today, the second day against Gulf countries as well. We've seen in West Asia, it's largely on edge. Given the sort of developments today with drones and missiles hitting out at various countries in the Gulf region, the claim and in fact, earlier there was also a military announcement that 3 US service members have also been killed in action during the operation against Iran. Meanwhile, in Israel, there has been a strike today in Beit Shemesh in which over 20 people were injured and 9 people were killed in that particular strike. Iran claiming that around 200 people may have died in the country after strikes by Israel and the United States. Let's go back to Disha for more on the very latest. And Disha, the West Asia remains very much on edge given what's been taking place today for a second day. And now the latest news coming in is, and this is after the news from the US military that 3 servicemen were killed. Now Trump announcing that they have downed 9 Iranian ships.
Absolutely. So this is the latest we're getting in. The first, in fact, of casualties coming in from the American side, the fact that 3 US soldiers have unfortunately lost their lives in Operation Epic Fury, while 5 have been seriously wounded and are now undergoing treatment. But this is the first that we're hearing of casualties from the American side, because earlier we'd been hearing over the past 2 days of various casualties, especially from Israel, where today a residential area, a kibbutz in Israel was hit by an Iranian missile, and we've seen that the death toll in that has been also growing. Meanwhile, yesterday we also saw that an Israeli strike on an Iranian girls' school. There was a very high death toll in that strike as well, with almost 160 young children and others being killed there. But now the first that we're hearing about casualties from the American side, we are yet to understand how these American soldiers were killed, whether it was because as a result of certain strikes on various US bases that we've been seeing over the past couple of days.
That's right. Disha, some breaking news now coming in, and the first indication of de-escalation, and this is after Donald Trump, said in an interview that there could be talks with Iran. Now the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Oman has posted that His Excellency Mr. Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, Minister of Foreign Affairs, received a phone call from Dr. Abbas Araghchi, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Iran, who expressed his country's appreciation for Oman's constructive role and its ongoing diplomatic efforts aimed at diffusing the current crisis and the returning to the path of dialogue and negotiations. He also conveyed the Islamic Republic of Iran's position, calling for peace, noting that the Israeli-American attack on his country had exacerbated the tension and panic in the region, and emphasizing that the Iranian side's openness to any serious efforts that contribute to halting the escalation and restoring stability. For his part, His Excellency of the Minister of Foreign Affairs affirmed the Sultanate of Oman's continued call for a ceasefire and a return to dialogue. So that is the big breaking news coming in. We're now joined by Yusuf Jalal, who joins us from Tehran. Yusuf Jalali, if you could tell us, this seems this is the first sort of indication of a possible de-escalation. Is this something that you have heard over there, and what can you tell us about this?
Coming from the United States and of course from Iran, from Tehran, we heard that the Iranian foreign minister contacted his Omani counterpart and conveyed Iran's message regarding its openness to dialogue, to try to engage in serious efforts for de-escalation, for serious de-escalation. So this is Iran's message for now. But of course, Iran claims that the United States was the first to send this message for de-escalation and engaging in dialogue once again. But of course, we're not sure if this is accurate. But of course, Donald Trump said that the Iranians have expressed readiness for engaging in diplomacy once again. The new Iranian leadership, he said, that has expressed readiness for dialogue, and it remains to be seen how dialogue amid all these airstrikes against Iran and Iran's retaliatory strikes against the United States bases and against Israel, how such a diplomatic engagement can take place.
That's right, but a welcome development if it does. We do see some sort of de-escalation. Thank you so much, Yusuf Jalali there reporting from Tehran on this news of the first sign of de-escalation, with Oman claiming that they have received a call from Iran and that they would like to reopen the negotiations. With that, we'll slip into a short break. More news on the other side. Stay with us. All right, let's get you some cricket news now. And Team India have stormed into the semi-finals of the T20 World Cup. Sanju Samson powers India to the victory. India beat West Indies by 5 wickets. Sanju Samson's heroic 97 saves the day. The Blues complete the big second inning comeback. So that's the big news coming in on the cricket front. Team India have stormed into the semi-finals. Sanju Samson guiding India to that victory with a stunning knock of 97 off 50 balls.